Welcome to the first principle for thinking like Leonardo da Vinci, curiosità. Say it with me in your best Italian accent. Curiosità. One more time, this time with a big gesture. Curiosità. Molto bene. Curiosità is the insatiably curious approach to life and an unrelenting quest for continuous learning. Leonardo's curiosity drove him to want to know the secret of life. This was the motive power of his genius, and it led him to create the first accurate drawing of the embryo in the womb. We all inherit a Da Vincian birthright of creative genius, and this amazing drawing symbolizes the first principle of how to think like Leonardo da Vinci. Curiosità comes first because it's the force that powers our love of learning, explorations, and creativity. Like most great geniuses, Leonardo maintained a playful, childlike curiosity throughout his adult life. Sigmund Freud wrote a book about Da Vinci in which he stated, "The great Leonardo continued to play like a child throughout his adult life, thus baffling his contemporaries." Our exploration of Curiosità will revitalize your birthright of genius and guide you to apply it to make your dreams come true. Curious? Curiosity inspires our learning and our growth in every dimension of life. It's a powerful natural impulse we all share. It's our birthright. It's what gets us to click on a headline, stay tuned to a questionable television show,
3 vegetables that can solve climate change. Next.
No! I'll take 15, but not the ones with the lizards. Or listen into someone's phone conversation. Curiosità compels us to ask questions, probe the unknown, and explore new horizons. It is, of course, the impulse that inspired you to be part of this Da Vincian learning community. Leonardo da Vinci was probably the most curious person who ever lived. What was he curious about? Everything. He wanted to know the mind of God. Everything else was just details. He was so curious that, as legendary art historian Kenneth Clark commented, he wouldn't take yes for an answer. Leonardo was an intensely curious child. Giorgio Vasari, the world's first art historian, who wrote about Leonardo in 1550, reports that the young Leonardo asked his teachers questions with such originality and perspicacity that he raised continuous doubts and difficulties for the master who taught him and often confounded him. Leonardo never stopped asking confounding questions and expanding his sense of wonder throughout his life. This passage from his notebook expresses his curiosità. I roamed the countryside, searching for answers of things I did not understand. Why shells existed on the tops of mountains, along with the imprints of coral and plants and seaweed usually found in the sea. Why the thunder lasts a longer time than that which causes it, and why immediately on its creation the lightning becomes visible to the eye, while thunder requires time to travel. How the various circles of the water form around the spot which has been struck by the stone, and why a bird sustains itself in the air. These questions and other strange phenomena engage my thoughts throughout my life. Curiosità fueled his genius and drove him to explore the world from unusual and creative perspectives. Curiositá took him under the water. He designed the snorkel, diving equipment, and a submarine. It took him into the sky. He designed a helicopter, his famous flying machine, and perhaps his most amazing invention of all, the parachute. Leonardo invented the parachute before anyone could fly. That's thinking ahead. Leonardo designed the proportions of his parachute in detail. He noted next to his sketch, if a man has a tent made of linen, of which the apertures have all been stopped up, and it be 12 cubits across and 12 in depth, he will be able to throw himself down from any great height without sustaining injury. In the year 2000, skydiver Adrian Nicholas tested Leonardo's design. He jumped from 10,000 feet and found the ride to be smoother than a modern parachute. Leonardo's dream of flight, as expressed in his studies of aerodynamics, is a powerful metaphor for liberating your mind. In one of his notebooks, he depicts a bird in a cage with the caption, "The thoughts turn toward hope." When he strolled through the streets of Florence, he would often purchase caged birds from merchants just so he could open the doors to the cage and set the birds free. Curiositá will open your door to freedom, inviting you to fly out of your cage of habitual thinking and discover a whole new way of looking at the world. In the next section of the video, you'll complete the Curiositá self-assessment. Your reflections will tell you how you're already using your Curiositá and where there's room for growth. Then we'll move on to delightful explorations that will unleash the energy of your own natural Curiositá so you can begin thinking like the maestro.